I am getting so many comments on my short videos on multiple platforms on people's opinion on what is natural and what is not natural. What is a body that looks like steroids use or a body that looks like they don't use anything. So I'm going to get into what some of those comments are. I'm going to tell you exactly what I do and exactly what I've done. Like when I was 24 years old, the profile picture on most of my social media platforms, that was me, 24 years old. I'll tell you what I was doing there in that picture. I'll tell you what I'm doing now. And I'm going to tell you what so many people's opinions are about what is possible when you're not natural, because there's misconceptions everywhere. The people that are saying they're natural and aren't really natural, the people that even don't say they're natural, I'm going to tell you why they get mad. There's a good reason why they get mad about this and why they have such emotion about this. So first, let's talk about the definition. A lot of these guys who are big social media influencers and they're jacked and they say they're natural and everyone wants to call BS on them. Well, I'm going to tell you what their definition of natural is. Their definition of natural is no gear. What does no gear mean? It means no anabolic steroids. That means to them, everything else is fair game and they can say they're natural. They're natty because everything else is fair game. That's their opinion of the definition of natural. So, no anabolic steroids. I won't get into the different ones or any of that, but let's get into what is or what are not anabolic steroids. Testosterone is not an anabolic steroid. It's used on bodybuilders' cycles and it's used in conjunction with steroids, and it's equally as powerful as probably any steroid. But the difference between testosterone and an anabolic steroid gear is that testosterone naturally occurs in your body. So, presto, you can say, well, I'm not going to say, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing too. And if you have questions about, hey, are you doing this? Have you ever tried this? I'll tell you, because that's what you need to ask is specifics to know what somebody's doing. Now, most of these guys aren't going to tell you, but I'll tell you the questions you can ask that are really going to get them to hem and haw. So testosterone naturally occurs in the body. So these gigantic dudes who have muscles on muscles are saying they're natural because testosterone naturally occurs in the body. They might maybe taking a stupid dosage of testosterone, like 400 milligrams a week. That is not a TRT dose. That is not a testosterone replacement dose. That will blow your testosterone out of the building if you take 400 milligrams of testosterone. That is not natural. Okay. Now I'll get into what my opinion of what is natural also. Testosterone, take that one off the table because your body produces it. It naturally occurs in the body, even though they're taking a synthetic form of it exogenously. There's a big one, growth hormone. If they use growth hormone or any growth hormone secretagogues like peptides that help your body signal your body to increase growth hormone, that's off the table too. Why is that natural? Because growth hormone naturally occurs in your body. These big old dudes are natural. Testosterone and growth hormone are off the table because they occur in your body. They naturally occur in your body. Those two things right there are huge for building muscle and getting lean. Huge, 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 huge. They're the foundation of all these gear cycles, of all these steroid cycles. Then they throw in the gear, the anabolic steroids, around these two things. So what else is natural? Well, creatine, that's natural, but are you natural? Their definition of natural, remember, they can take anything that's not an anabolic steroid and call themselves natural. In their mind, I'm not trying to rip into anybody who thinks this way, but that's their definition of natural. Now, in my comments, And I want you guys to do it again here. Tell me, what do you think is natural? And the opinions, read the comments. After you put a comment in, read what other people are saying, because people have such strong opinions about this. It's like, really? Is it that big of a deal about somebody else's body? But apparently it is. And I'm going to get into why I think that is, and why these guys who insist they're natural get so pissed off when you accuse them of not being natural. I'll tell you why, because I think I know. So I've had people in the comments say, you know what? Vitamin C is not natural if you take it exogenously, because most vitamin C capsules or whatever is synthetic. Now, some vitamin C, the kind I take, comes from real food. But most vitamin C that you take, if you do an IV drip, or most vitamin C that you take, it's synthetic. It's produced like the testosterone. I mean, they're two different things, but a lot of people are saying vitamin C is not natural. So the extreme is food. That's it. If you're doing anything more than food, even protein powder, you are not natural. You know, if I'm going to agree with one side or the other, I'm going to lean that way. I'm going to say creatine's not natural. Now, and everyone has their little reasons of what's natural and what's not. So let me talk about why these guys that are jacked get so pissed off if you accuse them of being on gear, if you accuse them of not being natural. And this is the one that really triggers them. This is the one that really triggers them. And these guys look spectacular. I'm 63, so you can judge me and what I'm doing. This is all I got. I'm not some big, huge bodybuilder. This is it. I'm 2 hours in the gym 5 days a week, and this is it. This is all I got. This is all I get for my age and the effort that I put into it, plus my food. So the reason these guys get so pissed is because they feel like you're slighting them. You're slighting the effort that they are putting into their level of fitness, their diet. These guys eat near perfect. The better they look, the near perfect they eat. They work out like I do, 2 hours in the gym, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And they've been doing it 40 years. I've been lifting weights. I've been a gym rat for 50 years. That's how long. Junior high is when I started going in the gym, and I was always a skinny little runt. Look, I'm still a skinny little runt, and I'm enhanced. I'll tell you what I'm doing to enhance my performance. So these guys get so mad because you got these couch potatoes, these big lard asses sitting on the couch, and they say things like, I'd look like you too if I wasn't natural. If I was on TRT, I'd look like you too. If I took peptides, I'd look like you too. No, you wouldn't. You'd still be a lard ass. You'd still be a cow sitting on your couch. That's why they get pissed, because these guys have been putting effort and work and discipline in their diet for 30, 40 years, some of them, to get to where the level that they've gotten to. So that's why they just say, I'm natural, because they don't want to get that attitude from the fat guy that says, well, of course you look good. Who wouldn't look good if you weren't taking those magic pills? Well, TRT is not magic. Growth hormone is not magic. Peptides are not magic. Maybe the closest thing to magic might be retatrutide. But if anybody thinks that you're going to get on TRT and you're not going to change your lifestyle, let's just say you're a fat guy sitting on the couch watching TV, you come home from work, if you even do work, and I'm showing you that attitude of why these guys get so mad. And you sit on the couch and you eat ice cream, you can get on a double dose of TRT. You can take growth hormone. You can take all the special magic peptides that you want, and nothing is going to happen. You're still going to be a lard ass sitting on the couch, and you're going to be the same, period. That's why these guys get so mad. Now me, I've accepted that, I'm a thin guy. I'm never going to have these big old 18-inch arms. That's not going to happen. You know, people laugh at my legs. Hey, why don't you work your legs? I blast my legs every week. And they're little skinny toothpick legs. And my arms are little skinny toothpick arms. That's what I get. That's my genetics. Now, what do I do? What do I do for this? I'm on TRT. I'm on a very small dose, 90 milligrams a week. That's a very small dose, but it puts my testosterone, my total testosterone, up to 1,000. That's high. My free testosterone is off the top of the chart. That's testosterone. I use growth hormone secretagogues, something to get a variety of different things I've tried to get my growth hormone up. My baseline is 80 for my growth hormone. That's really low. My baseline for my testosterone is about 350. So a small dose of TRT, I'm a good responder to that, puts me at 1,000, 950, 1,000. Using the growth hormone secretagogues, that got me from a baseline of 80 on my IGF-1 up to a max of 130 on my IGF-1. I'm trying different things. I tried IGF-1 directly. That's it. That's what it goes up to. Anyway, I won't go there, but I use multiple peptides, BPC 157, TB 500. What did those things do for me? Well, as you get older, my age, 63, it's not the muscles that need to recover. It's the connective tissue. It's the joints. Am I enhanced? Absolutely. Would I be able to train the way I train without the peptides, without the increase in growth hormone, without the testosterone? Would I look like I look? Probably not. I mean, I would be a little smaller, but I would be basically the same. Not a huge difference for me, but that's just my genetics. So that's it for me. And that gets me up to where I am. Now, some people respond spectacular to growth hormone or whatever. And most guys, you know, a TRT dose of testosterone is usually considered 200 milligrams a week. So maybe 100 one day a week and 100 another day a week, split apart. But it's none of this stuff is magic. Again, you can see if you go back and you look at my profile picture, that's about 24 years old, on gear, on anabolic steroids, decadurabolin, anavar, testosterone, equipoise, parabolin, not all at once, but those are the things that I used for a period of about 2 years, 2.5 years, off and on. Now, that's the difference between a 24-year-old on real gear, and I don't, well, my testosterone doses were much higher than they are now, probably 4 times higher, which is not a TRT dosage. Like I said, a max TRT dosage is about 200. So I hope this helps everybody out there fighting about who's natural and who's not. Now, if you ask a specific question, if you ask these natty guys, these guys that are all natural and just swear by it, sometimes you can tell. Guy might have a little gyno around the nipple, and you can see that, especially when they're lean, because it's hard. It's like a marble that's underneath the nipple. It's not fat. It's like a marble, and you can see it. Okay, that's possible without gear, but not likely. So there's an indication that they're actually just lying about the steroids that they're using. I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think about this dilemma and what people are using or what they're not using or what you think is natural or not. Now, again, if you ask a specific question to one of these guys, like, are you using BPC 157? The answer might be, well, yeah, of course, but probably not. You're probably going to get him and haw, what's that, huh? They're going to play stupid because they are using things like that. They are using things like tesamorelin, EJC 1295 with ipamorelin. They are using these things. MK677. There's even a newer version, MK777. They're using retatrutide. They're using SLU, PP, 332, things like this, and saying they're natural. They're certainly using testosterone. And I told you why they don't count that as gear, because it occurs in the body. They're just taking an extra amount. And most 20-year-olds, most 22-year-olds do not need TRT. When you're 50, you do need TRT. So don't think, just to kind of be peacemaker here, don't think that doing TRT is going to be some magic thing that turns you into Hercules. I promise it's not. It's not. So all you guys out there, or whoever you are, saying, I would look like that too, or that's why you're jacked. That's not why. These guys that are big and jacked at older. Now, look, I do all the enhancement too, but I'm not big and huge and shredded, you know. You can see my abs, but my abs don't cut through my shirt. So I just get an average. TRT, growth hormone secretagogues, fat burners, BPC 157, TB 500, things like that help healing, which really help. They enhance me. Like I said, it allows me to train harder. But these guys that are really big and jacked, first of all, they have great genetics. They eat right and they train hard and they train smart. They know what they're doing. So I'm just saying that's why they get mad when they say, oh, I'd look like you too. Or the reason you look like that is because you're on gear or you're not natural and you're taking all this stuff. That is not why. All those things will help enhance you, but it is certainly not why these guys are built the way that they're built and the way that they look. They don't look like that because they're taking some magic pill or some magic injection. It doesn't work that way. So if you guys have questions, comments, I'd love to hear this, what you guys think, because the comments always come back very emotional. And some people that do nothing, that the guys that won't even take protein powder, they're very emotional because they're not enhanced. And if you're not taking creatine, you're not taking protein powder, you're not enhanced. Those guys get emotional. They get as emotional as the big jack guys who are enhanced. So let me know what you guys think, and we can fight it out in my comment section. So let's go from there and see what happens.